Cybersecurity is becoming very important for everybody's life, and it's going into an area and sphere of life. And so we need to make sure that essential values that we have very much liked in Europe, like freedom of speech, like liberty to move, and like the ability to follow up on politicians in case you wonder what they're doing, that these are not moved away by security mechanisms that could be misused and against these kind of fundamental values and virtues. And so it's important that we always combine cybersecurity with and respective and proper data protection mechanisms, and that we combine it with the ability for people to speak out and come forward, and at the same time, of course, that we give that protection that is actually needed. This will require a very deep dialogue in a society. I hope that with, for example, the governance model that we have been developing for the competence center network, and we can make a contribution, and I hope together with the other pilots we can build a whole governance model, a scenario that can in the end produce a nice cybersecurity competence center. That's a difficult question. I think one measure of success clearly would be if we find elements of our proposals, for example, for the governance model in the later political agreement. And for example, if we can inspire a trialogue to produce some interesting and good measure. So if we can influence a trialogue to implement a way how communities and bottom-up communities that are very strong in CyberSecForEurope, that they can be considered, and that we make sure that the competence network is really covering all areas of society in Europe. I think that would be a great success. And we can measure success by being quoted, which is already happening. I think another element of success is the interest of people coming to our meetings. And this evening we've just received another late registration from somebody from the European Parliament. So we have actually lots of people from the European Parliament on the scientific and co-worker scene. We have even a real parliamentarian, if he comes. And we have people from the Parliament's office, so people who are coordinating the work in committees. So we have a number of people who are very deeply involved into the political process, and they're coming to our event. And I think that's a very nice measure of success also. We're also happy if we're getting referenced in scientific literature and other literature and reports, because it shows that people probably have at least read quite a bit of what we've been doing and thought it to be useful to reference us. Well, I'm really excited about seeing how our proposals are now being picked up in the political scene, and I'm looking very much forward also into the merger of ideas that comes from our vertical pilots on the one side, and all of the new research ideas and research concepts. They are being merged now while we are speaking in joint working groups, and will produce interesting new output. We will see the first elements of open source and federated decentralized cyber range, and we have interesting events. We will have a summer school that will bring quite a few of our ideas to the promising new talent in future. We look forward to our second consultation event in the second half of the year together with the German presidency. We don't know more about that. We will have, and we're looking forward to our second consultation event in the second half of this year, and probably together with the German presidency in some way. But in any case, and probably again with interested people and with collaborators from the other pilots to get even better ideas. I think one challenge was, even though it worked out particularly nicely, is to get 43 partners and the about 150 people who are working it together. Again, this is a challenge that actually has turned out to be less of a challenge than maybe you would fear, because we have indeed a very good team spirit. Whenever I have, and that is maybe another interesting challenge, whenever the European Union invites to an event where somebody of us should come, or some people should come and explain something, either to the member states or to Parliament, also, I send an email to the team over our email list, and so far it was always possible to find even if the dates were very short notice, somebody was standing up and say, yes, I can do this, I can present here. So while indeed it is quite a bit of challenge because the political process in Europe is moving quite fast, and lots of things are happening at the same time and very spontaneously sometimes. So it is not trivial to keep up with that. So far we have indeed been able to deal with all of these situations. We have to make sure that we still do our homework. So that's maybe another challenge. All of these exciting events are great, but of course we have homework to do and write our deliverables at the same time. But I have the feeling we're in good shape with regard to that, and probably we'll also develop a bit more routine over time to deal with this. So from that point of view, I'm confident and optimistic that we will be able to deal with further challenges if they come down the road.